Sleep. Sleep can be a bad bedfellow. If we demand it, it will not come, and lack of sleep is literally torture. How can we master sleep? Hello. How you going there, Kristen?
Hi, I'm great.
That's good. We're here on Signposts for Living by Dr. Kirsten Hunter, and we're here to talk about a whole host of clinical issues that I cover in private practice. Over the last 17 years, it's kept me busy. And I've brought my beautiful friend Kristen along, Kristen Coggan. Hey, Coggan. I've been saying it wrong for years.
It's fine.
You got to.
It's one of those names.
Well, it isn't actually. I'm just a bit special that way. Oh, that's hilarious. Anyway, so beautiful Kristen has come along, and as always, she doesn't actually know what we're going to be talking about, just to keep it fresh.
I have no idea.
So what do you think of the topic of sleep?
This is big for me.
Yes. Well, why do you think I want to bring it up?
Because it's big for everyone.
Yeah. Did you know that 30% of the population at any given time is having significant sleep problems?
I didn't know that, but that doesn't surprise me.
30%.
Does not surprise me.
Yeah. And, you know, the next year, the year after, and 5 years prior, it's a different 30% potentially. So it really gets shared around.
And it's cruel.
It is cruel. Actually, they've done some horrible studies on the most effective forms of torture. Sleep deprivation, number one.
I had someone remind me of that when I had my first baby.
Oh, yes.
And I was feeling terrible without sleep.
Well, you go a bit crazy, don't you?
Yep.
I don't know. As you so you've got two gorgeous munchkins. I've got 5. We've shared the love, haven't we? And I think that, you know, with your, it's a great point. You've got those sorts of situations where you don't have sleep. We're going to be talking today when we have fairly normal circumstances around us and what to do.
Okay.
But actually, that's a really great example. There's lots of times in life when we miss out on sleep, and well, I don't know what happens to your brain if you miss out.
It melts.
I think you'd be quite fun sleep deprived. You're fun most of the time.
Well, no, probably not. I probably go through a little bit of a fun phase, and then it gets very serious, and I just can't think straight. Just can't work my way through the muddle.
That's it. I get foggy. I'm usually a bit of a dynamo, a bit of an energetic person, I know, and my energy levels. I hate not having energy, so that's sapped. Then I get really foggy in the mind, the brain. I can't make decisions.
Yes.
Now, normally I'm like a boom, boom, boom decision maker. And if my decisions are out, then something's wrong.
Yep.
What else?
I can't prioritise.
Yes. And, oh my gosh, if you've got to get out the door, how hard is it to pack a bag?
Super hard. You will forget something. See, and I've had to learn to accept that.
I just kind of stand there and just sort of stare at a wall and think, I can't organise my brain.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And a very short fuse.
Yes. Yes. Well, I don't know. I don't think I do, but other people might.
You've got that one covered, have you? Well, most people, obviously, there's a much higher rate of conflict when people are sleep deprived.
Oh, you just can't deal with it.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's pretty hard.
And it might be the smallest thing.
Yeah. So when clients come in, they can come in for an enormous range of clinical areas, and in the process of intake, I'll be saying, "So, how's your sleep?" You know, so often I'll hear that they've got pretty ordinary sleep, and often the anxiety is impacting on the sleep, more so than depression, really.
Did you know that I had a sleep disorder in my 20s?
I did not know that. What did that look like?
That looked like narcolepsy, but I don't.
Okay, explain what that means.
So narcolepsy, I might get this wrong, I'm not a medico, but narcolepsy is basically where you can just drop to sleep instantly, anywhere, anytime.
Yes.
And I've always said that I could sleep on a barbed wire fence, it's fine. But in my 20s, I don't have the narcoleptic gene, so I couldn't have had narcolepsy, but they diagnosed me with really big words, but it was hyper something or other, meaning they didn't know. I just slept all the time. And they had no idea why. And I had the sleep tests. I was in hospital overnight with the things on my head.
So you were doing too much sleep?
Yes.
At very spontaneous intervals?
Yes. And I had I had a job where I drove a lot. I was a sales rep.
That's not good.
No, it's not. So, but luckily I had great bosses and they were quite happy for me to just pull up and have a little snooze somewhere. But it wasn't great and I was just tired all the time and it really wore me down.
Yeah, so you can really relate to how horrible it is. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
And have you ever had periods of time in life when you're stressed and you can't sleep?
Yes, that's when I'm really stressed because hence going back to I can sleep anywhere, anytime. When I can't, that's when the big stress is on.
Yeah.
There's something
pendulum
big
goes
going
the
down.
other way.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I personally am I shouldn't say this because we're talking to people who can't relate to sleeping, can't sleep. I'm just an incredible sleeper. It's a superhuman skill of mine.
Yep.
Anywhere, anytime, good to go, let's sleep.
Yep. I'm pretty much with you.
Yeah, but I can really relate. I mean, when I was not able to get sleep due to having babies, I understood what lack of sleep meant, even though it was a different reason.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there you go. So here's the thing. Oh, I've got so much I want to get through here. So here's a big one. People get into bed and they say to themselves, I'm going to go to sleep now. Problem, sleep is involuntary. So the more you think about it, the more you will it, the less it can happen. The more desperate you are, the more you're going to think about it and will it, the less likely it's going to happen. So we have this terrible cycle.
Yes.
It's not good.
No.
No, not at all. And I'm sorry to put you on the spot because that's what we do really here, isn't it?
Because that's my purpose. This would be boring if it was just you.
Yeah, exactly. No. Are you familiar with the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system?
No.
Have you heard of it?
No. Crickets.
Crickets. No, our producer's saying, can I use the crickets button? You want to, don't you? Oh, no, you next time. Okay, so we have got these two nervous systems. But by the way, you're not alone. I say this to most people and, they're thinking I'm speaking another language. So we have got these two nervous systems and we literally flick between them like a light switch. There's no middle ground, one or the other. Mm-hmm. So we have got the sympathetic nervous system, right? So that is in sympathy with threat. So anytime you are pushing, you might be pushing to rush to get somewhere. You might be stressed in any way, shape or form. You might be anxious or you might be in a depressive state and it's, really got a lot of energy behind it. You're going to be in your sympathetic nervous system. And when you're in your sympathetic nervous system, let's go all out here, we basically have, crudely speaking, we've got two neurochemicals in there. So we've got adrenaline and roughly speaking, we have about 4 hours of adrenaline per day, roughly. And adrenaline is the push. And then after that cuts out, we kick into cortisol, which is the cranky neurochemical. We're still pushing, but we're cranky and you can't be in a good mood in that state. Yeah, you fake it. Yeah, so anyway, that's the sympathetic nervous system. Now, our happy space is the opposite, the parasympathetic nervous system. I don't know which one you're in right now. Are you relaxed or?
Yep.
I'm not. I'm I'm thinking, let's get into all this. So I'm a bit hyped up, so I'm a little bit sympathetic right now.
Okay.
Are you relaxed?
Yeah, I'm relaxed.
Okay, I've got one over here on the parasympathetic, one over in sympathetic. Okay, so the parasympathetic is when you're in that calm state.
Yep, that's me.
And we have serotonin in that state, so that is where we want to live. Serotonin is the happy neurochemical. The more you've got it, the more it creates itself, I guess. Very self-fueling. And antidepressants are very much tapping into getting into that serotonin world. Yeah. So then we kick into, here's the punchline. You ready for this?
Yeah.
After serotonin, we kick into melatonin. Heard of melatonin?
Yes.
Yes.
Sleepy.
That's it. So melatonin is a sleepy neurochemical. And you need to be in a state of melatonin to go to sleep.
Okay.
So here's the problem. You have to be in serotonin to kick into melatonin. You have to be in the parasympathetic nervous system. You have to be in your relaxed state to get into the neurochemical.
Yep.
To get to sleep.
Hence they say wind down before you go to bed.
This is what we're talking about. Absolutely. So sleep is incredibly psychological. Yeah. So I don't know. Have I made sense there? Because we've just covered a lot quickly.
You have, I think. Yes, no, you did, but it does make sense.
Yeah.
And it's like I just said, it's like, turn off your screens, all that advice that they give you to lower the lights, even when you've got your kids and they're little and you're trying to get them to sleep. Yeah. That's all the stuff you want to do, isn't it? You quieten everything down, calm down.
Exactly. Yeah. So we need to get into a calm head state to be in our serotonin and our parasympathetic nervous, and then we kick into our melatonin. Absolutely.
So when I'm having a bad night not a bad night, but I just accidentally start playing Candy Crush on my phone. And 2 hours later, I'm still playing Candy Crush on my phone.
That's a wee bit stimulating.
And I think, oh, yes.
I've never played it.
Haven't you? It's addictive.
You're not surprised though, are you?
No.
I don't tend to press buttons.
No.
No, not at all. Okay, so have you ever had those nights where, I've had a few, but not many, but you go to sleep and you can't fall asleep, or you wake up through the night?
Yes.
Have you noticed where your brain goes to?
Yes.
Where?
It goes to the stressiest point of my life, whatever is going on.
Correct.
Yes.
We start to ruminate. We go in circles. We start to overthink.
Yes.
Yeah, we're either thinking about what has happened and we're stressing about it, or we're thinking about what is on tomorrow, what we've got to do. We start planning. But here's the thing. It's almost like we're thinking, but we're extremely drunk, because the quality of those thoughts are terrible.
Yeah, everything's worse at night. Don't ever make a decision in the middle of the night. That's one of my...
Yeah, and we can get this false sense that we're actually thinking or planning or doing, but, it's not quality. So it's quite funny. Have you heard of that old saying? It's quite true. It's a very good one. If you go and just write down what's in your head, put on a notepad next to your paper, your bed, to get it out of your head.
Yep.
Fantastic strategy. Have you ever done that?
No, I haven't. Do you want to know what I do?
I do.
Because this happens to me a bit. Because I was saying before, I've got a bit of back pain as well.
Yeah.
So I can wake up in the middle of the night from that. I am a podcast junkie.
Are you really?
You put a podcast on.
Hey, Kristen, you can listen to yourself.
Oh, yeah, maybe that won't work for me. But you put a podcast on and I can concentrate on that. It takes my mind off.
See what
whatever
you're doing
else.
is you're taking your concentration away from your pain there.
Yeah. And I just set the timer and go to sleep. It doesn't matter, and just go to sleep.
There you go. Well, that's lovely. You
Wake
figured
up in the
that out.
morning with an earbud in my mouth or something. Like it gets a bit messy.
Oh, you're gorgeous. But here's the thing, okay, let's just
Yes.
say you've got your brain's brimming with ideas in the middle of the night, you can't get to sleep. So you write them down, get them out of your brain. That actually works really well.
Yep.
The next morning you read what's on the notebook. What do you think you find?
Oh, you'll probably be astounded at the way that you were thinking
It's
and the slant that you had on things.
Yeah, it's nothing profound really. A couple of to-dos and not a lot. Yeah. So once you've done that a few times, you realise how rubbish our thoughts are at night time.
Yes.
And it kind of helps you to not really get too engaged in the conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've learnt that, and that's why I don't waste time on those thoughts. And that's
There you go.
the podcasts are my go-to. That's my strategy. It works for me.
It's a good strategy. Okay, so we are going to go through a list of all these things you can do.
Okay.
You ready? Mm-hmm. Now, the first one we can't actually cover, and that is reduce your anxiety.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, if you're in an anxious state, you're going to have struggles. That's a whole other conversation. But I guess the take-home message is take it seriously. Go and really do a lot of research and maybe listen to a podcast on overcoming anxiety. But yeah, no, overcoming anxiety is as best you can, because that's really the cause.
And I think I've always learnt or talked to myself that getting anxious about it at 3 a.m. is not going to fix anything.
That's it.
So let it go. It'll still be there tomorrow.
Not achieving much. Absolutely. Now, I have a dear friend who's a doctor, and every person he speaks to, he tells them all not to drink caffeine past midday.
Really?
Yes, everyone tells everyone. And I asked him, why is that? And he said, because he can't sleep and he has to stop drinking caffeine at midday, which I thought was gorgeous that he's telling the world. But the next one is that it's good sleep hygiene. Have you heard of that phrase before?
I have.
Yes. And you alluded to it a moment ago.
Yes.
Yeah, so no technology. They say an hour prior, the logic being that we just want to quieten the brain, get on it, get a bit wholesome for a bit.
Yep.
Which can be very hard because we're really plugged in a lot, aren't we?
Oh, it doesn't stop, does it? You've really got to put it down and turn it off or turn off from it. You've got to make that conscious decision.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I was going to sleep last night and I got a message from you. Are we going to talk about that?
If you want. I was then pretending I went to sleep, but I wanted to write back to you, go to sleep.
Yeah, we had this. This is going to keep going, by the way, this conversation.
Yeah.
I just can't get enough of it. But Kristen has this real interest in man feet, which is probably typical.
I don't think it's a...
You're probably very typical. But
You're amazed by it. But,
I am, because I've never liked male feet before.
oh, some men have really sexy feet.
See, I don't find that at all.
Yeah, and I can spot it.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to sleep last night and I get this picture of man feet. And I wrote back, no, I really don't find them attractive. I like female feet a lot. Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but what's more attractive?
Oh, I don't know. Either or, actually. Maybe I'm a foot person.
You could
Can we do a fetish podcast one day?
We actually are going to.
Excellent.
Seriously, that's up there.
No, it's not my fetish, but I can just appreciate a good-looking foot.
Well, I just don't like man feet.
No, men have nice feet sometimes.
I just don't. No, I don't know. I don't get it. Anyway.
Moving on.
Don't be texting your friends late at night before you go to sleep. Okay, cutting back the caffeine, cutting back the technology, and also sugar. Yes. Obviously sugar. And also alcohol. Did you know that having alcohol affects the quality of our sleep?
Yep.
So alcohol, the main ingredient of anesthetic, medication is alcohol. So it does actually, sedate us, but it's not quality sleep.
No, it's not.
Very
I've actually done a field study on that. And I can vouch for that.
Can you?
Yes.
See, that's dedication to the cause.
That's it.
I'll take that. Okay, sleep routines. Heard of that?
Yes.
Yes, we're very good with our children.
Mm-hmm.
We say, what's a sensible bedtime and what's a routine, and we're pretty good with them. We're pretty ordinary with ourselves.
Yep.
Yeah, so I naturally will go to bed at midnight, but I make myself go to bed at 10.
Do you?
Yeah, because I get up at 5 and do silly things like writing a book.
Yep.
Or 6.
6.
Well, Signpost for Living, it's 6 books.
Yes.
Yeah, so 5 a.m, that's when they happen. So sensible bedtime is a great idea. Do you have a sensible bedtime?
Yes, I do, and I take it back. So I work out when I have to get up, and generally it's around the same time. So 5:30's usually when I get up. So, and I need at least 8 hours.
Isn't that interesting? Now the average is 7, but
I need 8.
everyone's different.
6 or 8. 7.
6 or 8,
yes.
not 7.
No.
That makes no sense.
I know, but it works for me. And I even have on my phone, I have that programmed into my phone so it tells me when to start winding down.
Really?
Yes.
It makes no sense. 6 or 8 hours, not 7. Do you like equal numbers?
I don't. Yeah, maybe.
That's really weird. I like weird.
I don't know. It just is. Maybe it just suits my sleep cycle. If that's 7, I must be in a deep sleep again and find it hard to get.
You've worked it out, so that's great. So a lot of people will have a shower, clean their teeth, read a book, have a bit of quiet time, and then wind down. But yeah, try to create routine. The brain is very good when we have the same time going to sleep and the same time waking up. We find it very, very, very good. It nurtures our brain.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Now, sensory issues. This is nice and simple. Just you can't sleep, you go to bed.
Yep.
You wake up through the night, you can't sleep. Go get a heat pack, put it on. And it's not actually about even though it's good for your muscles, it's actually getting you to focus on the sensory input of feeling the heat on your body. And by focusing on that, it gives you a distraction, helps you go to sleep.
So relaxing.
Yeah. Yeah. So the key is to really focus on it. So nice and simple. Love it.
I can't sleep unless I've got something on me, as in a sheet or a doona or a blanket or something.
So you're not a naked sleeper?
No. Goodness, no. And I have to have something like the...
cocoon.
So I'm one of those people that turn the fan right up and the aircon right up and snuggle
John
down.
does that. John has to have the fan right up and I'm there snuggled in. He gets hot, I get cold. I wonder, I thought, wow, there you go.
Yep.
Yes. No, it doesn't work it's tricky. Anyway, now here's the next one. This is a big one. You ready? Sleep is a swear word.
Right.
Okay. You go to sleep and you say, I'm going to go to sleep. The moment you say, I'm going to go to sleep, you're really disrespecting the whole process because you're saying, I'm going to control this. I'm going to choose sleep.
Yep.
And the whole point is it's involuntary. So if you go to sleep and you're actually thinking about sleep, you won't have it. So it's really important for you to say, I'm going to sleep. Don't say that. I'm going to bed and I'm going to relax. So your job is to relax and then your body will take over and sleep. So it's incredible how with clients when I've just said to them, the word sleep is not allowed in your bedroom. It's just, I'm just now going to relax.
Yep.
And then poof, off they go.
Take it as it comes.
Yeah. But that one mechanism can make an incredible difference just with regard to your mindset.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I know. So sleep is a swear word. Take that one seriously.
Yep.
Okay, breathing techniques.
Okay.
Have you done many?
I have had a little tiny bit of experience.
Have you?
Yes, we were just talking before, I'm a mouth breather.
Yes.
So I try and concentrate. Well, I don't have to concentrate anymore, but I had to teach myself how to breathe through my nose, not through my mouth.
Yeah. Well, it's very common, isn't it?
When going to sleep.
And, Oh, it is better, absolutely, to sleep to breathe through your nose, no question whatsoever. But yeah, how to do that while you're sleeping at night time? Taping up your mouth, maybe.
I don't know. Could work for some.
It could work for some. Yeah. So breathing techniques, basically, all we're wanting you to do is relax and breathe out. So really simple is just to breathe in and then to breathe out, like slowly down a slippery dip and breathe out, maybe to a count of 7. So you breathe in, then you breathe in, and then it's out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and again. And you're just nice and gentle. But if you don't count, it won't work.
Okay.
Because if you were to say, okay, I'm going to breathe out now, you just go, it's gone. But if you count, the brain says, oh, it's okay, you've got plenty to go.
Yep.
So counting, very important. Okay. Oh my gosh, the amount of people that have the television playing while they're sleeping. Do you do that?
I don't do that, but my husband does. I'm podcasting, hence I've got things in my ears.
What do you do with his TV in your room?
I just can't hear it because I've got my earbuds in listening to a podcast. You see, we're a very romantic couple, can't you? And he sets the timer on the TV. Yeah, he goes to sleep with the TV. He doesn't need to.
Yeah.
But
okay, so we're getting overstimulation there. You know, the brain, the frontal lobe's getting lovely and analytical and activated, not good for sleep. So let Randall know that, yeah?
Yeah. He works so hard during the day physically, I'm sure. He just,
He's gone. Okay, next one. Ready? Mm-hmm. When you don't get sleep, you spend the next day and everyone says, hey, how are you? How are you? And if you know them well, you'll say, oh, just so tired, did not sleep well. How do you think that makes you feel? Better or worse?
Worse, because you're reinforcing it all the time to yourself.
Absolutely. It is so simple. But basically, if you've had a bad night's sleep, let it go, start fresh, start again. If people ruminate about it and just think over and over about how they haven't had sleep, they get into a negative mindset about sleep. They actually set themselves up to have a problem the following night, and it's a big problem. So that actually happens a lot with when you've got a baby and everyone says, oh, you know, how's the sleep? How's the sleep? I used to say, you know, just shut up. I don't want to talk to you. Do I want to focus on this? No, go away. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Don't focus. Do not focus on sleep lost because it really gets you into a bad cycle of focusing on that.
Actually, I spoke to someone years and years and years ago, had a theory that your subconscious, I don't know, this isn't true, but it's your subconscious, if you want it to, remembers how much sleep you've missed out on. And so you feel like you're always catching up. Your brain thinks it's always catching up. So what you're saying, let it go, ties in with that. I'm
not following you. Is that terrible to say? Say it again.
No, you're not following me.
You know me, I'm honest. What do you mean? If you
so what you're saying is don't harbour on it.
Yes.
Don't wake up and think, oh, God, I had crap sleep last night. Today's going to be shit.
Yes.
Get on with it and move on. Don't have that memory bank that I had a really bad night's sleep last night and the night before and last Tuesday night and last Thursday night.
That's right.
Don't bank it up.
That's it. That's it. We're on the same page. I'm with you. So you just needed to spell it out for me.
Okay.
Okay. Next one.
Yes.
Got 2 more to go.
Right.
2 more to go. One more is imaginal work.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of imaginal work?
No.
It's pretty wild. It's basically when you get into bed and you choose to daydream. You get in there and you let your imagination go somewhere. You go into another world, a scenario, some ideal situation that you're planning, and you really just take yourself into the depth of that.
Yep.
And you just, ushy into it. And yeah, that's right. Clinical term.
Yep.
Absolutely. And it drops you into sleep,
Yeah.
It takes you into your creative space.
Yep.
So I personally really love architecture. And, on those rare occasions I need to get to sleep and I can't, I will think about designing a house and I'll walk through the rooms and I'll play around with it and I'm asleep.
There you go.
Yeah. Have you ever done anything like that before?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. I'm usually on a beach under a palm tree.
What are you doing?
Nothing. Probably trying to go to sleep. No, probably
but that's lovely.
Sipping a cocktail, reading a book.
That's lovely.
Watching the waves rhythmically roll in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so that's imaginal work and it's incredible. So you could call it daydreaming, but it's a bit more planned. Yeah. Now the last one is a very ambitious one and we're getting into hardcore behavioural psychology. So we've left the big one for last.
Yes.
Can you handle it?
Yep.
Okay, I call it SOCS.
Right.
Yes. So basically, if you are going to sleep or you're lying in bed and then you find out that you have to get out of bed to go and do something. You know, we've got 2 dogs, bless them, and they're barking. And that sense of having to get out of bed to go to them, how do you feel when you have to get out of bed?
Oh, so annoyed.
Annoyed.
I think about it for 10 minutes before I actually do it. It would be easier just to do it.
I know. So that's dread.
Okay.
Very lovely dose of dread. So here we use dread against us to get us to sleep. I know it sounds a bit messed up. It is. So basically this is what we do. So you go get a basket of socks. I know.
Right.
I know. Work with me here.
Yep.
A basket of socks that's outside your room. It has to be outside your room because your bed is too tempting. You unpair all of your socks in your basket and then you go to bed. So you do your lovely sleep hygiene, you know, go to bed, normal time, me, it'd be 10 o'clock. And then you lie there for approximately 10 minutes. You're not allowed to have any alarms, any clocks, because you're looking at the clock and thinking too much that you can see. This is for people who are really, really, really struggling with sleep. Yeah. So they get into bed and they stay there for about 10 minutes. If you're not asleep, you have to get out of bed, go into the next room and start to pair the socks for approximately 10 minutes. Again, no clocks.
Yep.
Horrible. Desperate people do this. So you pair them for about 10 minutes. You usually don't get through it. And then you go back to bed again and you lie there and you can stay in bed for about 10 minutes. And there you are wanting to go to sleep, but you're not asleep, are you? No. So 10 minutes of wanting to go to sleep. And if you're not asleep in about 10 minutes, you have to get up and you go and pair the socks. How do you think you're feeling?
Like I'm going mad.
Yes. Well, the dread's building. You're really not having fun. And so you get out of bed, you go back to the socks and you keep pairing the socks. And when you finish pairing them, you have to unpair them again. So then you go back to bed again and you lie there for 10 minutes. And if you're not asleep, again, you have to get up and pair the socks for 10 minutes.
Right.
By the way, if you like pairing socks, you're not allowed to do it. You have to pick something you don't like.
Okay.
I had one lady who said, I love pairing socks. And I'm like, oh no, let's find something you hate. Most people don't like pairing socks. Anyway, so eventually what happens, and it's incredible how quickly this works. People are quite shocked. The brain says, if you don't go to sleep now, you're going to be getting up in approximately 10 minutes or less, and you're going to go and pair socks. For what? And the brain says, go to sleep. So through that sense of dread, the dread drops you into sleep and it's a real thud of a sleep. So, yeah, we call it socks and it's a behavioural conditioning approach.
I like it. It makes perfect sense.
Well, it does.
Really.
It does. It's very cruel. It's cruel to be kind, but people who night after night after night after night are not sleeping, I mean, you know, they're so tired. I have to go very slowly with this process because they really have trouble taking it on board because they're so foggy. But they will do anything. And they do this, and in 20 years, I've never had anyone not have this work.
Well, there you go.
So that's the big guns at the end.
Socks.
It's
a good one.
It's, well, you know, it's not me actually. It's scientifically proven. It's behavioural psychology. I won't take the credit. Maybe the delivery. I'm the first one to come up with the socks version. That could be true. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But what an easy and simple thing to do.
So the good news is that we have got lots of tools in our belt where we can sort out our sleep, and that can bring back our humour and our wonderful personality again and take on the next day.
Yes. So you don't have to put up with it.
No, it's a good thing, right?
Yep.
So if you know anyone, you can either tell them about the podcast or you can tell them about the socks. Yeah. Sounds good?
Sounds great.
There you go. We're set.
Top of the tips.
Darling, it's been so much fun.
It's been fabulous fun.
I just like hanging out with you, even if we're talking about socks.
Yes.
I'll talk about socks or feet.
Feet
Feet that go in socks. You can enjoy
There's some sexy feet.
They're really not. They're not sexy at all. Female?
Yep. People could email and let us know.
No, I'm saying female.
Oh, female?
You like male?
Male. Yeah.
No.
Sorry.
See you, darling. Well, text me more
we
tonight.
We need to go.
All right.
Bye.
See you, darling. Bye.